Diplomatic and political activities were high today with the Nepal visit of U.S. Under-Secretary of State for Political Affairs. The U.S. official held parleys with top brass leaders and urged for momentum to the MCC program. The increasing frequency of high-profile visits to Nepal from U.S. officials in recent time implies the growing geopolitical importance of our country in the international arena. Whether it turns out in favor is, however, a wait and watch for now. Good evening, I'm Sarah Sapsanama. Let's begin with the headlines of the hour. The Election Commission sets 9th of March for the election of the President. Parties dwell on potential candidate. Maoist Centre hesitant in letting UML keep the post. U.S. Under-Secretary of State for Political Affairs Victoria Nuland urges parties to support in the implementation of MCC, emphasizes on the need for investment-friendly environment. The death toll from bomb explosion in Pakistani city of Peshawar climbs to 47. Tehreek-e-Taliban claims it carried out the attack. And clubs in the A-Division League struggle for star players, and as many leave for abroad, raises risk of losing quality. The Election Commission has set the dates for the election of the President and the Vice President. A meeting of the Commission officials held today decided to hold the election for President on 9th of March and Vice President on 17th of March. The Commission has also officially published the schedule for the election, based on which the list of voters will be published on 22nd of February. Registration for candidates will be done on the 25th of February and the final list of candidates will be published on 28th. Likewise, the registration of candidates for Vice President has been set for 11th of March. The final list of candidates will be published on 12th of March. The Commission has set 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. for voting on the election dates. President Vidyadevi Bhandari's term is ending on 12th of March and Vice President Nanda Bahadur Pun's on 17th. Lawmakers at the House of Representatives, National Assembly and Provincial Assemblies will vote for the President and Vice President. This means 275 of the lower house lawmakers, 60 at the National Assembly and 550 in provincial assemblies will cast their votes. The Commission has said vote weights will be determined based on the census data of 2011, as the detail of last year's census is still awaited. This means the vote weight of federal lawmakers will be 1 to 79, while that of Provincial Assembly will be 1 to 48. CPN Maoist Centre, that leads the ruling alliance, put on hold the party's standing committee meeting to dwell on the president's election. The meeting of the party officials held in the party office in Paris, Dada today discussed on the party's strategy ahead of the president's election at a time when CPN-UML has been staking its claim for the position. Maoist Centre has been of the opinion that the candidate for the post from the ruling alliance should be chosen based on consensus and has suggested it will not support UML in its pursuit for the post. Following the meeting, leaders said that apart from the election, the meeting dwelt on the possibilities for adding party officials and internal management. The meeting also discussed on UML's pressure to reappoint Rashtra Swatantra Party's Ravi Lamichhane as Home Minister. The standing committee meeting called for today has been rescheduled for Wednesday. Meanwhile, parties have continued to struggle for a consensus on the candidate for the post of president despite numerous rounds of discussions. Ruling alliance partner CPN-UML's Promotion Department Chief Prithvi Subba Gurung has said the coalition will choose a candidate from the party. However, UML itself has yet to decide on its candidate. Nepali Congress, that has the highest number of seats at the lower house, has also expedited discussions, saying that having a president from any other party would threaten the state's constitution. U.S. Under-Secretary of State for Political Affairs Victoria Nuland has met with Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal today. Nuland had arrived in Kathmandu yesterday for a two-day official visit. According to the Prime Minister's private secretariat, Nuland's meeting with Prime Minister Dahal, held in Baluatar, had delved into topics including bilateral ties and aid. Nuland also met with Minister for Foreign Affairs Bimala Paudel Rai in Singhadarwar. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs has said that the parley covered bilateral ties, aid and topics of mutual interest. Minister Paudel has also expressed her gratitude towards the United States of America for the support during the tough times of the devastating earthquake of April 2015 and the coronavirus pandemic. Prior to this, Nuland had met with Nepali Congress President Sher Bahadur Dewa earlier this morning. Dewa's secretariat has said that the meeting had delved into the continuity of American investment and aids in Nepal. Meanwhile, Newland has also met with CPN-UML chairperson KP Sharma Oli. Nepal had last year endorsed the Millennium Challenge Corporation MCC Nepal Compact. The visiting U.S. official has said that the USA is working on developing and strengthening stable relationship with Nepal and Nepal's neighbors. She has also extended U.S. support in strengthening government servers which continue to face cyber attacks. Addressing an interaction program after visiting the historical Patan Darbar Square in Lalitpur, Newland informed about her interactions with political leaders and U.S.-Nepal relationship. Earlier today, Newland held talks with Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal and Chair of CPN-UML and Nepali Congress about the implementation of the Millennium Challenge Corporation, bilateral ties and strengthening democracy in the country.
During the course of those meetings, we of course talked about the next steps in our Millennium Challenge Corporation project in the field of clean energy. We talked about the plan of the government to submit legislation to the Parliament to finalize the transitional justice process and what the United States might be able to do to support implementation thereafter. We talked about how to strengthen the climate for investment and international business here. We have lots of American businesses who've always been active in Nepal, but as you become more and more vibrant, there are more and more American businesses who want to invest here, and we want to make the process for them easier and smoother. We also talked about the need to continue fighting corruption. We have the same issues in the United States, and all democracies have to work hard to keep themselves clean.
In relation to the recent cybersecurity threats to government service, Newland said that America had extended U.S. support in terms of tech specialists and expertise to the government of Nepal.
Today, in the context of the cyber attacks that you faced in the last couple of days, the United States has strong partnerships around the world in trying to strengthen cyber security and cyber resilience with its partners. So I offered to the government of Nepal that if and when you are interested, as we have with governments from Germany to Japan to across the Americas, we are pleased to come and bring some of our technical specialists to look at what happened here, help you strengthen and harden your systems.
On her Patan visit, Newland appreciated Nepal's rich art, culture and history. Now, back in 2017, the then Nepal government and MCC program reached an agreement for the $500 million program. The total investment for the program is of $630 million, of which the Nepal government is to bear $130. Amid much debate and protest from many quarters in February last year, the lower house endorsed the controversial Millennium Challenge Corporation program with a 12-point explanatory announcement. Since then, several projects have taken off. The program will see power transmission lines and road maintenance and upgradation projects. Administrative works for the construction of a 315-kilometer-long transmission line of 400 kilovolt capacity and 3 substations have already begun. MCC Nepal has informed works related to feasibility study and land acquisition, among others, have reached their final phase. The project is expected to begin construction by coming September. Likewise, the program is waiting for permissions to fell trees to construct 856 towers for the line. 132 hydropower projects are in the under construction phase at the moment and is expected to produce around 4,000 megawatts electricity altogether. The 315-kilometer-long transmission line will help distribute the electricity for domestic consumption and help sell surplus power to India and other nations. Likewise, technical study is underway for maintenance and upgradation of the 40-kilometer Dhankhola-Lamhi road section in Dang. In our Public Voice segment, we've asked people in several provinces how they remember the martyrs. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public Voice.
ती शहीदहरुको सपना साकार पार्नु प्रत्येक नेपालीको कर्तव्य हो।
वहाँ नहुँदा हाम्रो नेपालको विकास हुन्थेन, हामीहरु अगाडि बढ्थेन।
तिनीहरुको बलिदानलाई आफ्नो मनमा राख्दै हामीले पनि देशको लागि केही गर्न सक्नुपर्छ।
राष्ट्रले चाहिँ सोचे जस्तो चाहिँ शहीदले देखेका सपनाहरू पुरा भए जस्तो देख्दैन।
जुन उद्देश्यले उहाँ शहीद बन्नुभएको त्यो उद्देश्य अहिलेसम्म पुरा हुन सकेको छैन।
लोकतन्त्र र प्रजातन्त्र प्राप्तिको लागि जुन गर्नुभयो त्यसको लागि पनि एकदम सम्मान गर्न चाहन्छु।
शहीद परिवारहरूले एउटा स्मरण गर्दाखेरि मलाई लाग्छ उहाँहरूले पाउनुपर्ने न्याय पाउनु भएको छैन।
Taxi cabs are an alternative for the public during emergencies and for transportation to and from destinations where public vehicles are not available. Around 12,000 taxis operate in Kathmandu Valley. However, concerned authorities have not paid attention towards better management of the sector. Bhangti Sarki of Nuwakot has been running a taxi in the capital for 12 years to make a living. Sarki runs the taxi from 6 in the morning till 6 in the evening. Apart from 1,200 rupees that he should pay to the taxi's owner every day, Sarki has to also bear the expenses of fuel and maintenance, which is why there are days when he has to return home empty-handed. It's been growingly difficult for taxi drivers like Sarki amid soaring prices of petroleum products and what many call an unscientific. The popularity of ride-sharing apps have also had a telling impact on taxi businesses. The lack of designated parking spots means that taxi drivers like Sarki often have to keep riding along the road, which only raises their fuel expenses. Meanwhile, in the past 7 months, around 3,391 cases have been filed at the Valley Traffic Police Office by customers who allege the drivers demanded high fares. Another 200 cases have been filed against drivers for refusing to provide service. While the Nepal Bureau of Standards has said it is monitoring taxis closely, service seekers have grievances of drivers demanding for exorbitant fares. While the government revised the taxi fares in May last year, only 8,000 out of 12,000 have revised their fares so far. With Pashpati Budathoki on camera, Srijana Bastola for Kantipur News. And it's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
But before today's question, let's take a look at the results from yesterday's poll. Yesterday, we'd asked you what could be the reason for the delay in providing justice to the victims of loan shark. 24% voted for option A, legal complexities, 20% for B, government dilly-dallying, and 56% for C, apathetic towards poor. Here's today's question. Why has the issue of taxi fares not solved yet? Your options are A, helpless government, B, taxi businesses' high-handedness, and C, weak laws. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Time now for the international update. At least 47 people have now been reported dead following a bomb explosion that apparently targeted policemen praying in a mosque in Peshawar of Pakistan. Officials say people are still buried under the rubble. In response to the incident, Pakistan's Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif said terrorists want to create fear by targeting those who perform the duty of defending Pakistan. Pakistan Taliban, through Twitter, has said it carried out the attack. The group ended a ceasefire in November and violence has been on the rise since. In December, it targeted a police station like Peshawar in the northwest of the country, leading to the deaths of 33 militants. Early unconfirmed reports said a bomber had blown himself up in the mosque. Peshawar police has said between 300 and 400 police officials were in the area at the time. The blast took place at around 1:30 p.m. local time during afternoon prayers in the northwestern city near the country's border with Afghanistan. Some of the injured are reported to be in a critical condition. Last March, Peshawar was the target of another bombing which killed dozens in a Shia mosque. It's time now for the sports update.
Sports news.
Nepali football clubs are currently preparing for the upcoming Martyrs Memorial A Division League tournament, which is scheduled to kick off from 3rd of March. However, 14 clubs are facing difficulty as more than 30 star footballers who played in last year's tournament have gone abroad for foreign employment. The trend of experienced footballers leaving the country for employment opportunities abroad has raised the risk of the league tournament losing its quality. New entrant in the A-Division League, Church Boys United has adopted an aggressive approach in acquiring players with an aim to win the title this year. The team had signed players like Anjan Bishta, Dinesh Raj Bansi and Tej Tamang by offering them handsome remuneration. However, Dinesh and Tej have already left Nepal, compelling Church Boys United to search for alternative. Meanwhile, defending champions Machindra Club is targeting to secure a hat-trick in the tournament by winning the title this year as well. The team boasts of players like Sujal Shrestha, Chiring Gurung, Vishal Shrestha and Vishal Rai. Machindra Club was searching to contract more star players but has failed to intensify its efforts due to players opting to leave the country in search of employment abroad. In previous tournaments, 40 to 50 footballers used to register and up to 20 players played on a regular basis. Clubs were allowed to contract up to 4 foreign players and clubs had plenty of choices to sign Nepali footballers. However, All Nepal Football Association is now planning to increase the allotted quota of foreign players in the clubs due to the decrease in star Nepali footballers. Departmental teams, Nepal Police Club, Trivan Army Club and Armed Police Force that do not contract foreign players are now facing difficulty as star footballers continue to leave the country. Nepal will be hosting the ACC Men's Premier Cup Cricket Tournament. Cricket Association of Nepal CAN informed of the confirmation that Nepal will be hosting the tournament, which is considered a preparation for the Asia Cup qualifiers. CAN has said that Nepal was handed the hosting rights, although UAE, Qatar and Malaysia were also in contention. The tournament has been scheduled to kick off in April and the matches will be played at Trivan University Cricket Ground in Kantipur and Mulpani Cricket Ground. The tournament will be played in 50-over format. Nepal are in Group A alongside UAE, Kuwait and Qatar, while Oman, Hong Kong, Singapore and Malaysia are placed in Group B. 2 teams will qualify for the Asia Cup from the Challengers Cup, while the team that lifts the Premier Cup title will also qualify. The Asia Cup played in ODI format is scheduled to be played in Pakistan in September. If India refuses to play in Pakistan, there is also a possibility of the tournament being held in a neutral venue. India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh and Afghanistan have already qualified for the Asia Cup. Meanwhile, Cricket Association of Nepal has called 28 probable players for a close camp training for the World Cricket League 2 home series against Namibia and Scotland, which has been scheduled to start from 14th of February. Although the process to appoint Indian coach Monty Desai as the new coach of Team Nepal has not completed yet, he has already started the training. Up next is the weather update. That is all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Good night.